Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Play Branson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. My name is Chris Meyer. I'm going to be your host for the show today. And today's show is brought to you by ibranson.com. If you need to know what show schedules are, what attractions are playing, be sure to go to ibranson.com. You can see all of Branson's show and attraction schedules. Our guest artist today is Stephen Baldridge. He is a Branson entertainer. He's been here a long time. He's part of the Goldwing Express. He's never been on the show before, so we're really excited to have him on the show today. Now, can you believe that this is our 7th year doing this show? We're excited to launch the 2023 season. And here's something we're really excited to announce is that we are going to be on the Vacation Channel. So if you're in Branson, that's Channel 6. If you're in a hotel that has cable, it's Channel 6 on that channel or on that station. We're also on 36.1 if you're grabbing it with a digital antenna. So you can still catch us on our social media platforms, facebook.com/PlayBranson. You can also find us on YouTube, follow us on YouTube, or you can just go to PlayBranson.com and you can check out our episodes there. But we're really excited to be on the Vacation Channel this year. As we start season 7, the question is there an entertainer that you'd like to see on the show? If so, go to our Facebook page and message us. Let us know. Sometimes it takes months or even years actually to get some entertainers on the show because sometimes our schedules just don't work. But we'll do our best to get the entertainer that you want on a future Play Branson episode. We'll be back in just a second with more Play Branson. Hey folks, welcome back to Play Branson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. On the show today, for the first time, I have Stephen Baldridge. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Chris.
So it's great to have you here. I know you and I tried like a long time ago to get on the show, and it just didn't work out for whatever reason. And it's great to have you here today.
My pleasure. I'm glad to be here and be a part of this. And just excited to be here in Branson these days.
Yeah. So you've been a long-time Branson entertainer, but I want to go way back, and I want you to talk to us about like how you got in the entertainment business, because we always want to know that background history.
Well, our background history does go a long ways back. Trying to figure out, I graduated high school in 1991. As soon as I graduated, we were trying to figure out how we were going to put this music show together and called Goldwing Express. And back in them days, we were a lot younger, and we heard about a place called Branson, Missouri. Mm-hmm. And my dad kind of uprooted everybody and said, "Hey, let's go to Branson. I hear of some auditions." So this was in 1991, 92 time frame, and we came to Mutton Hollow.
Mutton Hollow. I remember Mutton Hollow. Yeah.
Mutton Hollow goes way back, and there were other instrumentalists that were there, other shows, and they hired us. And we got to spend about 6 years with Mutton Hollow back in them days.
Okay.
And that was actually our first professional job right out of high school.
Okay. So I want to go back even before that, because if you're already doing a professional job out of high school, you had to be performing or learning when you were a young kid.
That's correct. I actually started when I was 10 years old, and my oldest brother Paul, he was on guitar, and he was a couple years ahead of me. Dad, there were a lot of Oklahoma bluegrass festivals during that time. And those bluegrass festivals were in Hugo, Oklahoma, McAllister, Langley, Oklahoma, which was called Powderhorn Park. Mm-hmm. And back in them days, we would see the Osborne Brothers, Grand Ole Opry Stars, the Lewis family, just to name a couple. And we saw them for the first time on stage, and that's what the hook was. Anyway, I wanted to learn how to play the banjo, and I'd tell my friends in school, I'd say, "Hey, I'm going to be a banjo player one day," and same way with Paul. And a couple years behind me, my youngest brother, Sean, he's the youngest brother, so we needed a bass player. So that's where he kind of fell into the part of being a bass player. So as kids, the older we got, we were interested in sports. Loved basketball, things like that. Same way with Paul, he did as well, and Sean was a good ball player too. Well, we played basketball and played the instruments, in that order every day. So that was our interest, was getting into sports and getting into music and trying to create music that we enjoyed growing up listening to and watching from the stages.
So this was really a family affair, and like the whole family's involved in this musical journey.
That's correct. Our dad, he said he was never one to make us play music. He said, if you guys love it, it's up to you to try to figure it out and learn it. And so that's what we did. We got back there and started practicing and took a few beginner lessons. But after that, lessons started they were a little bit expensive. And so we just decided to try to learn these instruments on our own. And so that's what we did. And as brothers, you're always kind of competing against each other anyway. And that's kind of where we learned the band. I started on the banjo, and Paul's on the guitar, and Sean's on the bass. And then Dad, he sat right on in there with us, and he was pretty knowledgeable about instruments anyway during that time. And so it kind of went from him down to us. And as the older we got, I kept noticing, hey, we're starting to learn these instruments finally.
Yeah.
And but it was never pressured on us to do that. We loved music. We loved bluegrass. Loved the sounds of the bluegrass music.
Okay, folks, we'll be back in just a minute. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. Here with Stephen Baldridge, and Stephen, you were talking about kind of the history of your family. You got started at a young age. You came to Branson like literally right out of high school and got a gig at Mutton Hollow. And so kind of pick us up from there.
Well, when we came to Branson, we went through the audition process at Mutton Hollow, and they hired us. And we were just excited to do it, because sometimes when you get out of high school, you don't really know what direction to go. And I don't know, Dad, he just felt like maybe this was the move that we all should make. And we came to Branson, went through that audition, we got the job, and they hired us 5-6 days a week. 5-6 days a week. We were playing to tourists back in them days. And I want to say that I think that was when Branson's boom was
right.
Just, man, it was really hitting on all 8 cylinders. And so we were just glad to be a part of the entertainment then. So during that time, I think there at Mutton Hollow, we were trying to really, really create who Goldwing Express was to come during that 6-year run that we did at Mutton Hollow. And we started creating some harmonies and instrumentation, and it was a good experience right out of high school. And I call Branson a college university. If you want to learn how to entertain, this is the place to do it in.
Yeah. And so you guys really focused kind of on the bluegrass segment, right? I mean, that's kind of what you guys became known for.
That's true. That's correct. Bluegrass music, we performed a lot out in Virginias and Carolinas and places that would book us. Well, when you get out and start playing these actual bluegrass festivals, that's where you really, really see the hardcore bluegrass groups that are out there today. And man, they were the best. Those guys were the absolute best when it comes to bluegrass music. Everybody from Third Time Out, just to name a few, and we also got to play in Kentucky. A Kentucky promoter told us one time, he said, if they don't like you in Kentucky, they're going to let you know about it. So we actually got a booking out there, and we actually went over pretty good.
Well, that's good. I see here that you guys were nominated for the Bluegrass Entertaining Band of the Year for several years. by the Society for the Preservation of Bluegrass Music of America. So that's a really great honor.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back, in them earlier years, we were pretty big in going to Spigma, is what they called it. That was in Nashville. And seemed like we won entertaining family band of the year in a contest. I want to say that. It happened so long ago, I can't remember some of this stuff. And we just, I don't know, when it come to entertainment, we felt like maybe that was our calling, was to learn this music and learn how to really connect with a crowd, throughout the show. By the way, we got our name Goldwing Express in our earlier years. We used to ride the Honda Goldwing motorcycles. And our mom at that time, she said, hey, you guys ought to call yourself the Goldwing Express.
There you go.
And it stuck all these years, and here we are, today, still going under that name, Goldwing Express.
Now, you've been doing, since Mutton Hollow, you guys have had, in some cases, your own shows in town, and then other cases you've been part of maybe another show. Is that right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, let's see, if I remember my history right, Goldwing Express did 6 years at Mutton Hollow, and then when that park came to a close, we started to perform. I started making phone calls to promoters that would have us out there. So we went several years and started doing bluegrass shows and bluegrass festivals and fairs and what have you, all on the road. And so then we started doing lots of concert dates. At the same time, we were also still living here in Branson at that time, and we were like, man, we sure would like to maybe have our own show here in Branson. Then we spent, I want to say 3 years at the IMAX Theater. And then shortly after that, I think we spent a year at the Hughes Family Theater, there on the Strip, the Hughes Family Theater. And then with God and Country Theater, I want to say we did 2 years at God and Country Theater. And boy, I have to think about all this stuff, because that's a lot of...
It gets tough. But you guys were also at Dolly Stampede, right, for a while?
Oh my goodness, yeah. That was a real blessing, because at the time that we took the Dolly Parton Stampede show, we were the pre-show there. That was in 2017, and at that time, Chris, we were doing about 250 concert dates leading up to 2017 there at the Dolly Parton Stampede. So when they offered us that job, we were ready for a rest.
Yeah.
When you're doing 250 shows a year, concert dates, you are running. So we kind of welcomed that job. Even though we got the job when we hired on at the Stampede, we found ourselves working 7 days a week at the Stampede. So
that's a lot of working.
It's a lot of home rest, but yet you're working more.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to stop right here. We'll be back in just a second to find out what's happening this year with Goldwing Express. Stay tuned. Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. We're here with Stephen Baldridge with the Goldwing Express Bluegrass Band. And this year, you guys are going to be back in Branson, but at a different venue. And so tell people what's coming up for Goldwing Express this year.
Oh my goodness, Chris, we're excited. We actually started playing this last year. We got a phone call. Is it all right to say the C word, the COVID word?
Oh, yeah.
Well, what happened, I'll give you just a rundown here real quick. We played the Dolly Parton Stampede. We were going into our 4th year, and then COVID hit. When COVID hit, at that time they eliminated all indoor music venues, so there was no music work at that time. So me and the brothers, we had to still provide for the families in a way that we couldn't just figure all this stuff overnight. So we went and got CDL licenses. So we became truck drivers for about 1.5 to 2 years. And so we did that for a while. So finally got a phone call from Shepherd of the Hills. This was last year. Shepherd of the Hills gave us a phone call, and we talked about it, and they hired us to come in, and we started doing Buck's Bluegrass Barbecue Bash out there last year. So that kind of set things back into motion. Thank you, Shepherd of the Hills, for doing that. And that kind of got us back out of the trucking game. Now we're back into something that we really know. And so we played Shepherd of the Hills all year last year, and then we did Christmas shows for them last year as well. Getting into this year, they invited us to come back, and so we're pretty. We have a pretty extensive schedule with Shepherd of the Hills this year. Matter of fact, this year Goldwing Express is going to be a part of their Funny Farm show.
Oh, okay.
And that Funny Farm show, we had our first rehearsal there yesterday, and I want to believe that's going to start just after March, first part of March.
Yeah, and I don't have that on my notes, so.
So we ran over some of the scripts that they had out there for that show, and it's going to be exciting to be a part of the Funny Farm show. Goldwing Express is going to be in there. We're going to be playing music, in and out with what they have there. So we're excited about doing that, and that's going to last for several months. So we want to invite you to come to the Funny Farm show at Shepherd of the Hills, and I want to say that their showtime for that is 7:30 p.m. at the Funny Farm show.
But you're going to be back there with your own show then in the fall.
Yeah.
And that's October 3rd through November 22nd. You'll have your own show.
Yeah, they actually presented us to do the Funny Farm show, and then also we're going to do the Bucks Bluegrass after the first part of May. We're going to come back and do Bucks Bluegrass and Barbecue Bash. So that's going to happen after the first part of May, and then we'll run that for several months. And then, yeah, just like you said, in November, is it?
October 3rd.
October the 3rd, we're going to start a brand new morning show at Shepherd of the Hills at 10 o'clock a.m., and it's going to feature like a 2-hour presentation of all Goldwing Express material. So that's going to be our very, very own show.
And that's going to be most Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, when I say most, sometimes they change the schedule up just a little bit, but when I'm looking, it's going to be most Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Okay. Well,
October, November, yes.
Well, maybe it was just Tuesday through Thursday, so maybe I must have missed Wednesday on there. Anyway, go look at the schedule and check it out. But it's great to have you guys back in town. Here's the other thing I want to tell you guys is out at Shepherd of the Hills, they've also got another new show coming. And I don't think a lot of people know this yet, but $1 Million Quartet is coming back to town.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to begin on Friday, June 2nd, with 5 p.m. dinner shows in June, July, and August, and then 7:30 shows in the fall, typically on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, you guys are going to have a huge lineup of different shows out at Shepherd of the Hills, and there's so much to do out there now.
I moved here in '91, and I knew all about Shepherd of the Hills. But by the way, at Shepherd of the Hills, a lot of people may not know this. I didn't know it, and I lived here. It's not just an outdoor drama type show. They have an indoor theater out there called the Playhouse Theater.
And that's where you guys are going to be.
That's correct, right. and along with these other entertainers that you're talking about. That's a neat concept out there. It's called the Playhouse Theater, right there on location at Shepherd of the Hills.
Yeah. It's a really great intimate theater. They also have a roller coaster out there. They have zip lines. Of course, they have the outdoor drama. So folks, be sure to check out Shepherd of the Hills, and be sure to check out Goldwing Express. They're part of the Funny Farm show, and then you will have your own show in the fall. So folks, we'll be back in just a moment to wrap up PlayBranson. Hey folks, we're wrapping the show up today. Thanks for watching. Goldwing Express is going to be out at Shepherd of the Hills this fall with their own show starting October 3rd through November 22nd at 10 a.m. So you'll want to check that out. Also, the Shepherd of the Hills outdoor drama starts May 9th. It goes through October 21st. It is one of the longest, if not the longest, running outdoor drama in the United States. They've been there for, 50, 60 years. And that's 8 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays. Also, we mentioned $1 Million Quartet. They have a whole bunch of other shows going on out there, plus a lot of outdoor activities. So you want to check out Shepherd of the Hills here in Branson, Missouri. Next week, our artist, that we're going to talk to is actually from an attraction. Her name is Kate Min, and she's with Cryptic. So every so often, we will have someone from an attraction on the show as well. I do want to let you know about a couple upcoming events coming in town. March 24th through 26th, we have the Branson Elvis Festival hosted by Legends in Concert. That is one of only a few sanctioned events by the Elvis Presley Enterprises. You're going to want to check this out. Then Young Christians Weekend is coming up soon, and on March 31st, we're going to have Manic Drive back in town. They were here last year. They're a Canadian group. Did so well, they brought them back. April 1st, Corey Osbury and Riley Clemens. Riley Clemens is amazing. I've got her new album, CD, and it is unbelievable. And then April 2nd, one of my favorites, We Are Messengers. So folks, go out to Silver Dollar City, check that out. And then April 6th through the 30th, we have the Street Fest out at Silver Dollar City. A ton of new entertainers. They look exciting. Follow that up by May 4th through May 29th at Bluegrass and Barbecue at Silver Dollar City. And then I'm really excited about this one on June 3rd, and I just happened to find this online. Michael W. Smith is going to be out at Silver Dollar City. 36 #1 hits, 15 million albums sold. He is a legend in the contemporary Christian music world, folks. So you want to check Michael W. Smith out. We have a bunch of entertainers coming up this fall over at the Mansion Theater as well. People like the Okmulgee Boys, Jimmy Fortune, Gene Watson, Ricky Skaggs actually over at Clay Cooper's and the Larry Country Diner. Matt Gumm's going to be doing about 14 dates this year. So there's a lot of one-offs that are different times of the year at different theaters. We're going to continue to let you know about those throughout the year. And be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. And if you need help with your vacation, trying to figure out what's going on, where and when, be sure to go to ibranson.com. And we'll see you next week on PlayBranson.